One of the most important events for the UK's animation industry takes place at London's Southbank every 2 years. The British Animation Awards, which are held at the British Film Institute, presented their 2014 edition earlier in March. The award ceremony is particularly unique, as each handmade accolade is literally one of a kind, crafted by established pioneers in the animation field, making them especially desirable. With over 40 finalists for the ceremony's main categories and a plethora of filmmakers competing for the Public Choice Awards, the event is always a huge draw and hotly anticipated within the industry. Skwigly were privileged enough to be in attendance at this year's edition, and in the lead-up to the event itself we were able to get some time with a few of the finalists.
Sarah and Duck. Sarah and Duck. Sarah and Duck. Sarah and Duck.
In the early stages of starting Karrot Animation with Jamie Babington and Chris White, we did have an initial period where we were working on some televisional projects, but they soon came to an end, and we wanted to try and see if we could utilise the talented people we had in the building to come up with maybe some ideas of our own that we could have a go with. And Sarah and Duck was one of those ideas that came out of quite an open ideas forum, which we did with all the guys. And it was an idea that came out with Sarah Gomez Harris. Probably for me, the spark of the idea did come from a drawing that was this big, scribbled in Bio on a bit of paper on my desk, of a self-portrait of Sarah with her pet duck. Oh. It seemed to resonate really strongly. I thought, this could be something. Why don't you try this? And so she did. She started drawing, and we started working together on the idea, and it just went from there to there, from on and on and on. So that was really the inception, I think, of the show.
Well, it's definitely snowballed since then. It's being merchandised now. I think it's sort of more heavily toys, DVDs, etc., books. Was that kind of snowball effect anticipated when you started it, or was it sort of a surprise?
I think it was a little bit of a surprise. We were so young. Such a young company, and so not naive so much, but we didn't really know what was going to be ahead of us. We just wanted to try something out and see what happened. In its original state, it was such an unusual idea. It had a very wonky sort of artistic style to it. It had some very unusual ideas about what Sarah could do and the kind of things she would get up to. I mean, that was probably, again, us not necessarily knowing what the boundaries were in a way.
Sarah and Duck. Sarah and Duck.
There is something very simple and pure about the relationship between these two characters and the stories that they could tell, and that was our focus. It wasn't a huge surprise, because I think we really knew we had something that we really loved ourselves. Yeah. And if I liked it as much as I do, and I think the staff and the crew liked it as much as they did, we thought other people would, and we're really glad they have. But it's certainly been a much quicker and stronger response than we expected.
One of the biggest online hits of last year came from directorial duo Bjørn-Erik Aschim and Sam Taylor of The Line, with Everything I Can See From Here, a film which embraced the ongoing developments of how audiences experience short films.
It was a whole bunch of different ideas that we had kicking around, I think. We always had this idea of someone kicking a ball into the air and it not coming down again. So that was kind of one idea, and then Sam did a few drawings of this kind of creature, this alien creature. It kind of came together a little bit randomly. We saw like the connections. If this ball was kicked up into the air, maybe how would it get back down again? And we thought like, oh, maybe this alien comes down in a box and sort of hands them the ball again, these two young kids, and yeah.
It's produced in a sort of unusual aspect ratio. It's actually quite sort of convenient for like mobile devices and tablets and things like that. Was that sort of your intended?
Yeah, definitely. It was his idea.
Yeah, it was. We kind of we'd already storyboarded the whole film. It was actually sort of halfway through the storyboarding process where we realized this would work really well in like a portrait kind of ratio. The whole story seemed to kind of support the. It was kind of a dangerous idea because we really had to reboard the whole film once we'd done it. And yeah, but it seemed to work and it seemed to support the story, and it wasn't just a gimmick, and it was kind of interesting how that could work with mobile devices and the way that people watch films now online, especially short films. It was never really intended to be watched on a screen, on a big screen in a theatre as such. So yeah.
prominent London studio Beakus garnered 2 nominations for their exceptional CG short The Hungry Corpse, both for Public Choice and actor Bill Nighy's performance as the titular lead.
The film is a very tender story. On paper, the corpse is effectively a zombie. But it's never, when you watch the film, you don't feel that this is a zombie film. There's a beautiful kind of symbiotic relationship with the pigeon as well. Can you tell us a little bit about how the story came around?
Yeah, I mean, the film is produced through Collaborate, and the way the scheme works is that scriptwriters can submit their script, and once chosen they get paired up with the director, or if they script writer / director, they get help to make the script happen. So James Pout, who wrote the script for the film, he approached me.
I said, "Are you a ghost?"
I don't think it was ever meant to be a zombie film. I don't think we ever used that word. I mean, it was always about homelessness. He has heart, and he has a broken heart of a homeless person.
Tell us a little bit about the design. It's very stark, kind of saturated design.
Yeah, I mean, it's black and white, and I mean, it's not a very happy story. So I think that sort of suited the story very much. So that was the main reason why it was black and white and sort of fairly grainy, bit textural. I think I was lucky because James was really sort of open-minded. I had the opportunity to do a design, and that was appreciated. So I never felt pressured to try to make his vision sort of happen. So to me, it felt really comfortable.
Mark Nute, director of the hugely popular short Marvin, was also up for Public Choice with his music video for Laish's Carry Me.
The song is about a meeting of a horse and a lovesick penguin, so I took it very literally and just animated the adventure these two go on, mostly on my sofa. Yeah, it took about, I don't know, I was doing it in the evenings and weekends, so it was like a creative outlet for myself whilst I was working on some very boring corporate things. So it was a passion project, basically.
Cool. So for corporate things, are you freelance? Are you?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I've recently joined a studio, proper job and everything. Yeah.
So how did the relationship with the band come together?
I met Danny, the singer, in a caravan that had been converted into a sauna in a field near Haywards Heath, and we got on well, and when he was looking for someone to make a music video, he asked me. So
do you find that music like sort of helps your sort of creative process?
I've made a couple of music videos and they've both been quite successful, so I do really enjoy that, and interpreting what these singers are trying to say visually is a challenge and interesting. Yeah.
Excellent.
The event's put together by a devoted team including animation specialist Jayne and Gülsen Yanik. While it's the awards themselves that bring people together, the most crucial reminder the ceremony provides is just how strong the UK's contribution to animation continues to be. With this in the air, the post-ceremony atmosphere is one of assuredness and appreciation for being part of a creative field that allows for so much limitless variety and talent, with an even stronger future ahead.